9 seasons. It's the double century in yellow and black. He's been a mainstay and a great player over the years. He sits among some incredible names as one of only 17 who have ever played 200 for this great club. The likes of Jeff Olver, all-time appearance maker, I think on 379 appearances. Selamidis, Cole, Dumbalis, Biles, Rakavalis. There are some great names amongst the list. And Sean Ellis probably being the most recent of which to enter the 200 club ahead of Adrian Zara. Ben Collins looking to get things moving for Heidelberg United. Bit of a slow burner inside the opening 5 minutes. No real goal-bound chances to speak of as yet. But Ben Collins is riding high off the back of a fantastic display last week against Moreland City. And yes, they did concede 2 goals, Heidelberg, which is slightly uncharacteristic for the best defence in the league. But he was absolutely fantastic as the Burgers look to find an opening through Olsen, who just puts a bit too much meat on the cross, and it's out harmlessly even at the back post. Absolutely fascinated to see the tactical battle that awaits on the pristine Olympic Village surface today. Both sides who will want to control the ball as much as possible. Heidelberg averaging 55.7% possession this season, only Avondale more, and Hume City right behind them in third. And it's Hume who have defending to do on the road, as we've got a pack of players in the middle, and at the front post was Josh Pinn, and here is Sabine Gore! He is special, this kid! His first start, the same result, another super goal from Sabine Gore. And after a slow burn in the opening 10 minutes, that is the game breaker that this game needed, and of course it came from Sabine Ingor. Five games, 3 goals, 2 assists. There are solid starts to your life at a new club. And there is what Sabine Ingor is doing for Heidelberg United. Hume have been put well on the back foot early, and that will be a sore point for David Chick. They could arguably have defended that second phase a little bit better from the corner ball. And take nothing away from the strike from Sabine Ingor, which had the beating of a keeper who is no slouch in Michael Weir. The craziest part about Sabine Ingor's stats so far, we'll come to in a moment, is Hume looked to answer back. O'Kane denied the chance to make something of it through the Heidelberg defence. Here is Isgrove for Hume. If they are going to back their way into the contest, he will be the man for them. And Heidelberg have done their homework because they've managed to find a gap. And it's Josh Pinn who streams down the right-hand side. Is there a man in the middle? There was, you know. And he was a whisker away, Mohamed Aidara. from goals in back-to-back home games. Hume were caught on the hop. Isgrove robbed of possession. And Pinn had it on a platter for Idara, who just couldn't find the telling touch. And it was begging for one, that cross from Pinn. The goal has certainly put the verve and vigour back in the motion of Heidelberg United, who streamed down the left-hand side. Yokokawa cutting it square that time. Will be easily dealt with by Harry Ashcroft. They're weathering a storm right now, David Chick's side. 5 games unbeaten, but in fractional danger of being blown away at the present moment. Searching ball, looking for Jamal Ali. That one's just going to run out of real estate before he could make anything come of it. And here is Oscar Carlson. Maricic forward for O'Kane, who nearly turned into trouble. The Burgers press has been easy on the eye so far. The home fans certainly enjoying it. Bingham forced wide. To Abdallah, that's the man who Hume want to have it, and Abdallah looks to drive it on goal. It is a welcome back to Olympic Village as well, we should mention, for Amir Abdallah. Made his return, of course, back to Australia from overseas football in Estonia at the back end of last season with Heidelberg. Didn't find the back of the net, but certainly impressed. He hasn't had much trouble finding the back of the net this season, though. Hasn't had a difficult time setting them up either, it should be said. "12 goals and 7 assists. No player in my mathematics has a greater combined tally when it comes to goal contributions. He is in serious contention, you would imagine, for the NPL Victoria gold medal. The side are up against it at the moment. They forced another turnover of Heidelberg. Nicholas Olsen, another one of the chief chance creators on the park tonight. If you look at the assist stats for this season, we've got 3 of the 10 best creative types out there on the park tonight. Abdallah, as we mentioned, is the leading assist getter. Mikael Platt, his number 9, close behind on 6. Not often you see a striker with 6 assists to his name. Double the amount of goals that he scored as well. And Nicholas Olsen is also in the top 10. He's had 4 assists this season. Some real creative maestros to feast your eyes on this evening. And Hume will have to hope that theirs pull the strings. They trail after a goal in the opening at 10 minutes from Sabit Ngor as it's crossed into the middle by McFarlane. Gee, Bingham rose solidly. It's at the lap of Ngor, and that's a great ball over the top. Weir had to keep a cool head, and did. And he had to get that perfect. The NPL Victoria veteran. Because any kind of miscue, any moment's hesitation against the speed of Josh Pinn, who I can only imagine would have been revved up by a chance to score against Hume again and score his first goal in NPL Victoria since May. Would have made him pay if he showed even the slightest chink in the armour. Of course, we've got another game running concurrently to this one tonight as well. Another big fixture where the top 4 is concerned, particularly the top of the table. Melbourne currently hosting the Port Melbourne Sharks in a local derby. And of course, Dandenong City are playing Manningham United, where, very interestingly, both of the top 6 race in the relegation battle, Manningham United lead it 1-0 at Frank Holohan. South Melbourne up by a goal as well. So we've had an opener across all 3 fixtures in the Friday night action in NPL Victoria. For a stop-start opening 5 minutes, we're getting more and more signs that the tally could be added to. The thing that will give Hume confidence is the fact they've had no trouble scoring goals in recent weeks. 13 in their last 4 games, 9 of those coming in recent weeks. And they trailed by a 0-0 at the half-time interval back in round 11 to Heidelberg. Ben Collins getting the opener in first half stoppage time, and they were able to battle back not once but then twice. So hope not lost for Hume at all, as it was a fractional opening for Mikael Platt. Making his 13th start of the season, Mikael Platt tonight. So a really intriguing debut campaign in NPL Victoria. As that cross is searching for Amir Abdallah, but get up a bit earlier than that to get the beating of Yaron Souza. Mohamed Aidara. Ngor wide. Options are plenty in the middle. Ngor around with ease. Just left the ball behind and allowed Lockie Weir to jump out for a corner. Nicholas Olsen over to take. Support being provided in the form of Adrian Zara, who returns in kind to Olsen. Swung into the middle and repelled by the Hume City defence. A good gut running from Sabit Ngor. And the frightening thing about his official start to life at Heidelberg United, since returning from a stint in Finland, a silverware winning stint with Ilves, is that you wonder where they would have been if they had him at the start of the season proper, as he looks to go again, Sabit Ngor. He can do no wrong at the present moment. The 23-year-old is showing himself to be a real talent, a real find. And he did initially sign for Heidelberg at the start of the season before that professional opportunity in Finland came calling. And as I said, you do shudder to think where the Burgers could be if they had him from round 1 2024. If this is what he's done in 5 short games, the full season would be a sight to behold, and looms as a real one to watch, I think, when Australia Cup action returns to Olympic Village in just under a fortnight's time. Heidelberg will welcome the treble winners, Central Coast Mariners, the best team in the country, to their hallowed turf, as that shot is a speculator and nothing more. Well, he's certainly got it in the locker, does Lloyd Isgrove, but that one was ambitious even by his lofty standards. He's a player they will want to find the net tonight. Hume City, as he has done 13 times this season. And has done with regularity in recent weeks. He has 4 goals in his last 4 games, all of which have come in the second half, so maybe that's something to look forward to for David Chick. O'Kane, lateral ball was easy pickings for Idara, who is around Carlson with ease, with runners left and right. Sabine Gore, the man who was set the task. And then Yokokawa able to rob Maricic of possession. You often see him put a foot wrong. Idara stayed forward. It's driven into the middle and couldn't be turned on goal by Josh Pinn, whose weight for a first NPL Victoria goal since May will stretch on a little bit longer. He's only scored once in the 13 games that, league games that Heidelberg have played since they met Hume out in West Meadows. McFarlane and O'Kane conspire to retrieve possession for the visitors, who just need to find another gear here. When they are coughing it up, the Burgers are moving with some serious rapidity and volume in terms of numbers. Can Abdallah turn things around? He can turn things over. Goal kick for Heidelberg. Get the one chance at senior A-League level did Sabine Gore. He was a youth product at Western United. He made his one and only appearance as an A-Leagues player for Western United in the Australia Cup. Asahi Yokokawa. Pocket picked by O'Kane. It's been one of the breakout young stars of 2024 as Josh O'Kane. Here he is with another pick-up again. At that time, the exuberance of youth just costing him a fraction. The milestone man, Adrian Zara. Young against old here in the corner. And Olsen couldn't trap, but Lesiotis picked up the pieces. And there's a man who has A-League experience to call on. 26 professional games across stints with Melbourne City Victory and the Western Sydney Wanderers. It's a searching ball for Josh Pinn. Carlson. Great press once again from the Burgers. Yokokawa rolling into Josh Pinn. And Sabine Gore, he can strike them! And Weir can save them pretty well too. All the passes in that sequence, I dare say, were just a fraction off for the Burgers. Right now they are looking more likely to add to their tally than Hume are to level. Really playing with some zeal back at home. Idara fainting and feeding the man of the moment, Sabine Gore. Patient play with a phalanx of Hume defenders on the far side. The cross deflects and headed clear by Hume. Good work from Johnny A's side, just shifting the locus of the attack over to the left-hand side to try and find an opening. Idara. It's been effervescent so far. It has the midfield metronome. It's really put a pass wrong all season. He's been going at 89% pass accuracy in the league. And as you look at that pack of teams who are chasing a spot in the top two, Avondale, Hume, Oakley, Hume, Heidelberg, and then whoever loses the Premier's played out of Avondale and South, as it's cut back by Abdullah, but popped away with ease by Ben Collins. You would make the argument that of that chasing pack for the top two, Heidelberg are the ones who would really probably love it and need it the most, just because of how much better they've been at home compared to on the road. Chance for a week off in the opening round of finals, and then a semi here at Olympic Village where they have been dominant would be massive. Of course, they did win on the road last week against Moreland, but it's the bottom side in the table, with no disrespect to Moreland City, who put up a valiant performance. But it was their first win on the road in 4 games. Really struggled at times away from Olympic Village. Hume trying to cause them some problems at home. Carlson. Bingham trying to make himself a nuisance. McFarlane swings in with numbers in the middle. Platt rises. No connection. He might get a second bite. Protests his case for a penalty. Nothing doing. Fletcher McFarlane. And Nicholas Olsen was tight to him as a cheap rash vest there. Here is East Grove. And where was that going from East Grove? Is the question. Hasn't quite hit his straps tonight. So far, the one-time Welsh international still beggars belief that a player of his calibre is here, not only here playing in NPL Victoria, but here playing on the back of a cold email to Victorian football clubs looking for an opportunity, to which Hume were the first to respond. What a find he has been. Fell into the lap of Hume. He's repaid them in kind. Good work from Platt. And now the aforementioned Isgrove. Plenty to aim at. Abdullah is one. And Bingham is there at the back stick. And it wasn't a mile wide. A good chance for the visiting side. That's the kind of cut and thrust that they are going to need more of tonight, if they are to break back against the Burgers. It was Josh Bingham who equalised in the previous meeting. An all-time NPL Victoria goal scorer. Surpassed the likes of Hume great Nick Hegarty. The last 25 of which have really whizzed by here at Catalina Street. Heidelberg leading it through Sabit James. His 3rd NPL Victoria goal. His 5th goal contribution in just his 5th appearance. Musgrove couldn't return in kind. To the onrushing Lockie Weir. So great to see him reunited this year with his brother Michael, who returned in the mid-season window from the Newcastle Jets. Quality keeper. lacking in quality from Jamal Ali. I don't think his teammates were quite on the same wavelength as he, and you don't want to turn it over to Amir Abdallah, because if he cuts inside and shoots, you're in trouble. Or if he gives it to Lloyd Isgrove, you might be in even bigger danger. It is Lloyd Isgrove for Hume. The little disguised pass, a good one for O'Kane, but had just a bit too much meat on the bone. So Aaron Souza will easily be able to deal with the task in front of him. A simple goal kick. Zara. Lovely weighted pass for Olsen, who can fashion a decent swing into the middle, and Gore is there. Too close to the body of Michael Weir. Still early into his return for Hume after 4 years away. He's already racked up 16 saves in just 5 games. Collins commanding at full stretch. Idara in the middle. Clipped from behind by Bingham. Yokokawa. Collins must be having nosebleeds being up that far, but he's managed to fashion a pass further forward. Olsen, his pass a bit betwixt and between. And so perhaps the chance for Hume to counter. Bingham for Isgrove, with Lesiotis giving him close company. Couldn't pick the gap. Collins makes the claim once again. Adrian Zara stabs it to Yokokawa, whose pass is a fraction unorthodox but effective to Idara. The defence, they have run such a tight ship at Olympic Village. A second would make this really hard for Hume. Heidelberg to find the net again without response from their opponents. Idara to the byline and inside, and here is some beating Gore. Didn't really catch it. And Olsen will look to retrieve at the far side, but he was coming back from an offside position, so Hume get a bit of a little cheap bailout there. And of the 19 goals they've conceded this year, Heidelberg United only 5 have been copped at home in what is now their 12th home game of the season, their penultimate home fixture. 26% of goals conceded, just 26% have come here, while they've scored nearly 2/3 of all their goals in front of their home faithful. So if you're a Heidelberg season ticket holder, it has been a great year to be a card-carrying member, because you've not been left disappointed on many occasions. Collins robbed of possession. Bingham and Platt conspiring to win it back. And it's Isgrove checking onto the left. Lloyd Isgrove! Good save by Souza. And Abdallah never got a touch, but it would have counted for naught if he did. Just rare, cheap turnover of possession from the home side. At least give them a fraction more to think about as the game has transpired. For the most part, this Burgers outfit have been largely imperious. And David Chick cutting a bit of a frustrated figure over on the far side. Thomas Maricic drops it into Abdallah, who's come into a central position. And Carlson was nearly robbed of the ball. Some good boundary work there from Hume assistant coach Craig Filer. To stop that one from bouncing over the fence. He's putting the ball boys out of a job here at Catalina Street. Ten minutes to go. Plus stoppage time in the first half at the Village. So beating Gore's goal the difference. Hume have got a fair bit of work to do. And much to the chagrin of those in yellow, both on the pitch and in the stands, they are going to get a chance to do it here. And, well, there's a marker of occasion for Adrian Zara. Game number 200 for Heidelberg, a little ticket to mark the milestone from referee Michael Mammis. He's in danger of getting a little bit testy. The referee able to get things to simmer down as Abdallah prepares the free kick. The likes of Bingham and Platt close to one another on the wall. It is in the Platt direction, but no red shirts able to make contact. Lesiotis. Zara. Will Hume look to up the ante with some press work of their own in what remains of the opening 45? Still feel they have to be so careful if they are searching for an equaliser not to be caught out at the other end. Such a good defensive side, Heidelberg. Maybe get the beating of them once at the Village, but not twice. Defeat this evening, the Burgers. It'll be 23 league games in succession undefeated at Catalina Street. 474 days and counting. And I was reliably informed by the Heidelberg media veteran, Victorian football great, that it is a long-time record, but more on that in a second, as Heidelberg are looking to make it two. So beating Gore just couldn't catch what was an otherwise inviting cross from Josh Pinn. And still on track to extend that unbeaten run, but a second as insurance policy before the halftime whistle would have been very much appreciated by John Anastasiadis. According to the stats of the great Greg Blake, this run of 22 league games without defeat at Olympic Village constitutes the longest unbeaten run in the league at the venue in 40 years for Heidelberg. So absolutely monumental run that they're on. Some testing here potentially. O'Kane couldn't find clean passage. We did well to keep it alive as he rode the line and rode his luck. But only for a moment. Idara was under pressure from every direction. And here is Amir Abdallah! Oh, that would have been another special. from an NPL attacker in the finest form this season. And in the end, I reckon it was a fairly decent save, to say the least, from Yaron Souza, who was able to tip the ball onto the post and out for a corner, which Hume have taken short through the man Abdallah. And it's Isgrove now lifting it into the middle. And Maricic spawned at the back post. Couldn't divert it into the goal. Well, that is much better from David Chick's man. That is a recipe, a pattern of play, a succession of chances to work with. As they look to locate their leveller. It's certainly the first time we've seen them, Heidelberg, tested in such quick succession this evening. Sabit Ngor. How did he manage to get out there? He was in a cul-de-sac and he found a route to another road. That was incredible. He could only get so far, but he had a player on his left, a player on his right, and as though he was made of sand, just managed to evaporate through them both. It was quite a sight to behold. Conjecture about that non-call from the home side. I think maybe making the point of Michael Mammis that where's the sort of difference between that decision and the foul that saw Adrian Zara go into the book earlier, and now they'll get their wish. They've got a free kick in a position of promise on the edge of the box. And is there a card coming out here for a Hume player, or is this just the magic spray? I think it's the magic spray from Michael Mammis. It's as though the two-man team over the free kick will be Sabit Ngor and Nicholas Olsen. Jamal Ali, Ben Collins, Aiden Fedahajic, who's a long time without a goal in Heidelberg colours, the likely options, but it's played short. It's a bit of a trick play, looking for Sabit James, and the move from the training ground perhaps should have stayed there. O'Kane, clever first touch. Collins couldn't marshal him effectively, and they're out here through Abdallah, driven into the middle. O'Kane's first touch was heavy, but it nearly worked out. And Abdallah didn't make an attempt to play at the ball. The flag went up and it was but a precautionary measure, so Michael Mammis correctly awarding the corner to Hume, which the previously offside Amir Abdallah will take. Short they go once more. Isgrove's delivery, a beauty, and stooping down to collect and connect was Thomas Maricic. God, they've got some gifted wide players here. Here is Isgrove. It's a Platt again, and we now will look to square it up again, or rather O'Kane is making himself a real nuisance. Sabit Ngor. Hume have scored 46 goals this season in the league. That is second highest in the competition. Only Avondale have been able to manage more. And off that 46, Amir Abdallah and Lloyd Isgrove have scored 25 of them, and Isgrove may add a 26. Lloyd Isgrove straight into the body of Yaron Souza, but it was moving. The travelling Hume City active support certainly enjoying it. They would enjoy an equaliser before the break a lot more. Abdullah's delivery. Dealt with it the first time of asking. Isgrove will have another crack and meet the same end result. His third time's the charm for Hume. The answer, no. So beating Gore away, and he couldn't really get on his bike. He couldn't win it back legally, so another decision met with contention by the home support. In a very similar position to the earlier free kick. They have been the better side for vast portions of the first half. Have Heidelberg. It'll be a real sour note if the visitors from Broadmeadows were able to level it up before the break. Ooh, nearly inch perfect for Josh Pinn. Mohamed Aidara has had quite the game so far in the centre of the field for the Burgers. Josh Pinn, he's still making great runs, he's still getting into good positions. You wonder if sometimes the fact that he has struggled to find his first league goal in a while, he might have another chance here, and Gore kept that alive. Did wonderfully on the first instance, not quite so on the second, and it is the final action of a first half in which his goal will be the decisive one as things stand. So beating Gore is on course to be the hero of the hour for Heidelberg again. It was his strike inside the opening 10 minutes. A blistering drive from the top of the box that proved too hot to handle for Michael Weir and set this game alive after a cagey opening 5. The chances have flowed since then. They've gone to either side. Heidelberg really looked odds on to score a second and add to their advantage for a good 20 to 25 minute period of the match. But Hume have rallied nicely. They went close through the likes of Amir Abdullah, who struck the post and who nearly set up Thomas Maricic for an equaliser for a corner minutes later. They are finding so far the same fate as many an opponent who have arrived at Olympic Village this season to be true, which is that finding the back of the net against the Burgers here on their home deck has proved a very tall task indeed. Whether or not it's a task they are equal to, they'll have to be if they want to get a point or more out of this game. Whether or not they'll do that, we'll find out on the other side of the break. We head to the sheds with Heidelberg in the ascendancy at home. The halftime score, Heidelberg United 1, Hume City 0. 45 minutes to play at Olympic Village, all to play for in a third v fourth clash that could have a massive, massive impact on Heidelberg United and Hume City's quest to finish in the top two at the end of the regular season and set up a home semi-final. As Heidelberg looking odds on at the present moment. They lead it through a 0-0, and what a goal it was on 8 minutes from Sabit Ngor, who keeps up his red-hot form since making his official Heidelberg debut. He has 5 goal contributions in 5 games since returning from Finland. But Hume are looking to break back the other way. Here is Isgrove curling a tantalising ball into the middle and nearly executing what has been an almost telepathic connection with Josh Bingham recently. That was the combination for the opening goal. That was the combination for what could, but for a fractional offside call, have been their equalising goal in the Doherty Cup semi-final against South. Instead, they were dumped out at Lakeside. Got a corner for Hume. Up but not away by the Burgers defence. And it's O'Kane who eventually brings it under his control. A big shout for a handball. Appeals go unheard by Michael Mammis. Or rather not acted upon. Weir to the mixer. And Heidelberg will get it away. And they might be away, but for the agility of Michael Weir off his line. Amir Abdallah checking onto the right, curling it in beautifully. And once again, it just needed a touch. Mikael Platt wasn't far away, neither was Josh Bingham. And this will have been certainly the start that head coach of Hume City, David Chick, was hoping for. Two half chances, but nervy ones for the Burgers defence at that, inside the opening 3 minutes of the second half. Not that we're surprised that they take the impetus early. It is they who need to equalise in this game, and will have to score just the 6th goal that Heidelberg have conceded at home this season in their quest to get a first win here at the Village since 2019. Isgrove lifts it in. Souza at full stretch. Tips it away. And that stayed in play off the clearance of Nicholas Olsen. And really, it's going to work out rather well for Hume, as they will just keep possession moving through Maricic. Lockie Weir tries to switch focus for the visitors. And that's into the lap of Yokokawa. Sabit Ngor, the constant handful. Maricic able to keep it out of his clutches. Yokokawa, the Japanese live wire. Ngor, a bouncing ball that is prodded away. And a handball that was not particularly well disguised on this side from Anthony Lesiotis, the eagle eyes of Michael Mammis. Spotting that in build-up is Grove. David Chick will be a very confident man of coming away from Olympic Village with a point if Lloyd Isgrove is to find the net for a 14th time this season. Hume have not lost a game in which he has found the back of the net this year. 11 wins, 1 draw, 0 defeats. And Isgrove's on the scoreboard. Hume do not lose. And Josh Pinn is a man who would love to return to the scoreboard, or maybe even turn provider. So beating Gore. He's always fighting a losing battle to latch onto that one. Isgrove and Ali resume their battle. And Isgrove was cleverly away. Oh, and it's gotten a bit ugly between he and Jamal Ali. A bit of sorting out to do here for Michael Mammis as they stream in from all direction. Ali has gone straight into the book. Carlson was in to make his presence known. And Michael Mammis might have to have a bit of a chat with his assistant referees here. Leo. Or maybe he won't. It's as though did Isgrove escape without sanction there? That's the question. What we do know for certain is that Jamal Ali found his way in the book. See him lose his composure, his cool. Lloyd Isgrove, the one-time Premier League player. Jamal Ali is a tricky player to play against, not just because he's a good defender, but he's such a free-wheeler in the way he moves about the pitch and bombs on from full-back. It gives you so much to do in the opposite direction as well. Abdallah, he's a man who gives Heidelberg defence so much to do. And they were able to come up with a stoppage that time around. Fletcher McFarlane to take the throw. No subs warming up for either side just yet. The second ball drops for Amir Abdallah, who lifts it into the middle, plat on goal. And to the grateful arms of Yaron Souza, who hasn't been called into action too frequently tonight, but when he has done his job expertly. Can't forget that Amir Abdallah shot that was onto the post, and the only reason it was onto the post in the first half was because of Yaron Souza's glove. And they might battle once again as Leslie Otis leaves a leg in as Amir Abdallah was gallivanting forward at a rate of knots. And it's becoming a ticket parade here at Catalina Street. Leslie Otis picking up a cautionary card, so it's another burger into the book, and it is red alert for the goal of Yaron Souza, because this is a free kick right on the edge of the 18-yard box. And we have seen Amir Abdallah score similar from almost this exact spot a few times this season already. Isgrove is close for company. Two of the best options in NPL Victoria to have stand over a set piece. The good thing for John Anastasiadis, he's got one of the best options to be guarding it in Yaron Souza. So this looms as a really potentially massive moment for the visitors. If Abdallah or Isgrove could put on a show once more, can conjure up some more magic for the side from Broadmeadows, this game will be level and well and truly back on. It is Amir Abdallah! Was there ever any doubt? An absolute scorcher once more. And Hume are level in special fashion. And you can only sit back and applaud the brilliance of Amir Abdallah. What a hit. And you were almost expecting him to find the back of the net. It's almost like a penalty for him these days. And in the blink of an eye, one set piece is all it took. Amir Abdallah has come to the aid of Hume again, and this game is alive. And we've still got so much of it left to play. Two great goals, one apiece for either side. Both of them coming at a similar time into the half. What response do Heidelberg have? They have not lost here all season. That's only the 6th goal they've conceded. And they're not showing any signs of slowing down. Yokokawa forward for pin. It's the effort of a striker who is having a slightly tough time of things at the moment. Wow. What a goal we were just treated to from Amir Abdallah. Is there more in the offing as Bingham launches a probing pass in behind? You get the feeling that there will be more in the offing in this game, which is following a curiously similar pattern to the last game that they did play. Ben Collins back in West Meadows in round 11. Had Heidelberg ahead at the halftime break. It was Josh Bingham who brought Hume level in the second half before 2 stoppage time goals for either side saw it end at 2-2. Up and away by McFarlane. It drops at the feet of Lesiotis, who will be kicking himself, or rather, my apologies, it's Nick Olsen. He won't be kicking himself without conceding the free kick earlier, because that was... he'd be turning to the commentary and saying, you had the wrong man. You had the wrong man. He won't be kicking himself that he won't be able to move it forward there, because Hume are moving beautifully, and Abdallah is in again! Oh, so close to a brilliant, a breathtaking quick-fire double from Amir Abdallah. There is no end to the quality of this former Burger. What a second half response this has been so far from Hume. Swung in decently into the middle. Platt couldn't get it on goal. And Souza made himself big at the back post before Heidelberg eventually pick up a free kick. (13 goals and 7 assists so far for Amir Abdallah, his first year in Heidelberg colours. It couldn't have gone any better. And it seemingly only gets better. For the young attacker. With some serious youth talents out there. Sabine Gore, who at the time of the long break. More on that in a second. Olsen looking to get back. It was a bit of a volleyball style dig to produce the stop from Michael Weir. I wonder if they will turn to Sabine Gore for a second win. This is only his first start, so logic follows that he might be one of the first players to come off. Perhaps. With 5 goal contributions in just 5 games. At half-time, he was averaging a goal contribution every 36 minutes. And Ali has to be careful because Isgrove is on his tail and he is on a card. Here is Ngor. Platt turns. Couldn't lay it down for Lockie Weir. O'Kane. Certainly a youngster who isn't afraid to take the game by the scruff of the neck, Josh O'Kane. It's so much energy, and he's on the ball here once more. Great upper body strength from the young lad. He still goes on unperturbed up against the might of Jamal Ali, but couldn't feed the feet of Amir Abdallah as Adrian Zara winds back the years with a mazy run. A 200-game veteran. A milestone match. Could only win a free kick, and now both sets of subs have been sent to warm up for David Chick and John Anastasiadis. 30 minutes, just a fraction under, stoppage time notwithstanding, to play at Catalina Street. You just get the feeling that there are more goals in the offing in this fixture. Especially with the quality of subs that both sides have to call on. For now, we turn our attention back to the 11s on the field as Olsen wheels around. Otis now. A few in the crowd urging him to have a pop. Not necessarily his stock in trade. Ali with Isgrove into cover. And now Feda Hadzic. Game number 133 in NPL Victoria for Aiden Feda Hadzic. And he's going to saunter his way forward to try and get on the end of this free kick, which Fletcher McFarlane will protest his innocence for in the aftermath. In vain, of course. The likes of Leo Marzis, Dom Fala, Anthony Theodoropoulos, Sean Ellis, and Jaden Gorman. The options available in the outfield for Heidelberg, while Hume have got Umut Bozdogan, Josh Galevsky, who scored in stoppage time against the Burgers in the last meeting, Mark Odching, Mehmet Uysal, and Obiora Eze, as it comes in and is knocked away by Josh Bingham and helped on its way by Isgrove. Abdallah between a rock and a hard place. Yeah, it was always fighting a losing battle, but in the end did really well just to get his body in the right place to win a free kick. Josh Galevsky, Mark Odching, his experience. Obiora Eze, who scored his first Hume goal in brilliant fashion, the former Western United youth product against Manningham last week. Hard to see this game ending at 1-1. Ali into the lap of Ngor, who kept it alive, but only as far as the breadbasket of Michael Weir. Whatever changes, tweaks David Chick made at the break, they have been working wonders for Hume. They've moved with so much more fluidity. And Platt just went up in hope rather than genuine expectation. Aaron Souza will gobble those up all day long. Made 6 saves last week against Moreland, and he is going some way to chasing that down. Oh, Weir missed it in flight. Weir of the Lockie variety, we should stress. The younger brother, Ngor, Nothing doing for the Burgers. Isgrove with fast feet. This has been a really entertaining clash, particularly this second half. It's been played at a breakneck pace. And Adrian Zara is growing back into the game. Idara now picks the gap for Olsen, but not able to trap the ball at the crucial moment. Isgrove beautifully through the lines for Bingham, but he was robbed of possession by Lesiotis. Now Olsen on the far side. Chopping it back to the ex-Victory man. Idara, a pocket of space. The ground just opens up ahead of him. And he still goes. Mohamed Idara, can he get his name on the score sheet again? And he can, but he won't that time around. Good score in the last home game against Melbourne Knights, alongside Asahi Yokokawa, who, let's not forget, has scored in back-to-back games, but hasn't necessarily been at his most dangerous so far this evening. 22-year-old signed at the start of the season from reigning Singaporean champions Albirex Niigata, sister club of the Japanese team that share the same name. Sabit Ngor couldn't keep that one alive. Substitutes mostly going through fairly routine motions at the moment. There's no particular sub who's going and being put through more vigorous paces than the last, although as soon as I say that, John Anastasiadis has made a gesture to one of those subs. So we might finally see the first card played off the bench. As Weir just left the ball behind, and that was a tactical foul, for which Lockie Weir will escape sanction. Leo Marzis is the player prepared for the Burgers, and Sabit Ngor, I think he knew what was coming. It was a very guilty look over the shoulder towards the linesman. McFarlane. Looped over the top by Bingham, and Abdallah did well to even make a fist of that. I do wonder if Sabit Ngor, this is just his first start since arriving, whether he might be the first to make way. Leo Marzis was the man who dropped to the bench in place of the 23-year-old. Here he is, though. Sabit Ngor driving onwards. Running out of real estate in the end. Well marshalled by the towering figure of Tom Maricic. Standing at 200 centimetres tall. One of the tallest we've got to offer in NPL Victoria. And we're going to see that sub now. And it is indeed Leo Marzis who will make his way onto the field in place of the man who replaced him in the starting 11, who leaves to rapturous applause Sabit Ngor, because it is his goal in 8 minutes that currently has Heidelberg sitting in a position where they will earn a share of the spoils. And if there is a man who deserves his applause for performances in recent weeks and months, it is Sabit Ngor. So Olsen will shuffle across to the right-hand side to begin with. Marzis taking up a spot on the left. But might he be picked out here by Mohamed Idara? He will by Lesiotis, the first touches for the substitute Marzis. He's been subbed off 17 times this season. A rare sub on this time around. Yokokawa. It's got a bit too nippy for the liking of Michael Mammis. Leo Marzis is going to be driving, attacking at one of his former Dandenong Thunder teammates this evening in Harry Ashcroft in the centre of the Hume defence. He's not scored in 15 games, Leo Marzis. Now would be a very good time to break the duck. Marzis in the path of pin! Well, from one man who is going through a goal drought to another, he's not far away, the Queenslander Josh Pinn. He continues to put himself in enterprising positions, but the final telling touch continues to evade. Minutes remain at Catalina Street. We've had 2 goals to savour at Olympic Village. So beating Gauze after 8 minutes. Amir Abdallah with an epic free kick on minute 55. The third v fourth clash that has lived up to the billing for the vast majority. Marzis given one to Chase. It is his former Thunder teammate in Harry Ashcroft who gets in his way. Free kick taken quickly by Heidelberg. Idara, Michael Mammis nearly got in the way. Pin. In stride for Ali. Good sliding challenge by his opposite number 4, Lockie Weir. Ben Collins. Aiden Fedahajic. Feels like this game is here for the taking for the side that can produce another moment of quality. Hume quick out of the blocks in the opening 20 minutes of the second half, as they needed to be. But it has settled a little bit somewhat since then. Well, this could be trouble though. Abdallah trying to make Aiden Fedahajic's life difficult, and the pressure enough to force a turnover. There's a lot on the line for either side tonight. A win with Oakley 2 goals back on level on points with Heidelberg, 2 points back from Hume. If Hume win tonight, they've got a spot in the top 3 wrapped up for another week. If Heidelberg win, it'll come down to goal difference. Bumped into the penalty area. Flicked away to Carlson, and now the foot race is on. And it's a race that Nicholas Olsen is able to win. The second relay runner. And Asahi Yokokawa is thwarted by Michael Weir. extra dangling carrot. For the visiting side, Hume City would, of course, be their first win against Heidelberg United in quite some time. June 15th, 2019, they won it 2-1 on the day. And it was Mark Otcheng who scored in the 91st minute. Josh Pinn finally has the ball in the back of the net. And it will count for naught. The flag of the assistant referee up on the grandstand side. Paul O'Brien getting the opener in round 17 of the 2019 season before a 15-minute turnaround from the visiting Hume City side. Josh Wilkins turned the ball into his own net before Mark Otcheng came on and won it in the 91st minute. 5 years on, Mark Otcheng is still a Hume player, and indeed he will be the next player to come on for Hume. So maybe David Chick, aware of his late heroics against the Burgers in years gone by. Feels like it's a Hume side that is ripe for a freshen up at this critical juncture. Not that much time left in this game if either side wants to find a win. Bingham used his body brilliantly and just flashes a shot across the face of the Heidelberg goal. No real threat for Yaron Souza. Well, I say not a lot of time left for either side to find a winner, but at this point in the reverse fixture in round 11, we still had 2 more goals to come. Hume looking to find one of them through Weir, who just overcooked his cross. Abdallah will keep it alive at the back post, but was up against it to try and do anything more than that. Lesiotis. Lovely fleet of footwork from the midfielder. Mark Otcheng still waiting to come on. And he'll join the field of play behind another, or alongside another NPL Victoria veteran in Sean Ellis. And they may both enter with a set piece to contend with as Lloyd Isgrove enters the book. And he's been in close attention of Michael Mammis in this second half. It was he who had that coming together with Jamal Ali, which saw the Burgers defender go into the book. He escaped without a card that time around, but this time it is Lloyd Isgrove who does pick up a ticket. And so the single sub, which is going to see Sean Ellis onto the field, well, he's still coming on, but it has been upgraded by John Anastasiadis. Nicholas Olsen and Josh Pinn leave the field of play in place of Jaden Gorman. And the only other man at Olympic Village who can lay claim to matching Adrian Zara's historic feat of 200 games for Heidelberg, and Sean Ellis, also a proud member of that 200 club. 10th on the all-time appearance list for the Burgers, and it is his free kick, which is well weighted, and there is a Heidelberg player on the turf. Ben Collins throws up both arms, asking the question. Michael Mammis keeps it moving, and Isgrove had the pass through the legs of Mikael Platt, but I don't think the English striker was quite picking up what the Welsh winger was putting down. Mars is cutting it back. Gorman! Couldn't get it on goal. Substitute just coming up to the speed of the game, but those were telling touches from the cavalry off the pine. Leo Mars is nearly setting up fellow substitute Jaden Gorman. what would have been his first in Berger colours. And we will now get that substitution that Hume have been waiting patiently to make. And the man who scored the stoppage time winner last time Hume City beat Heidelberg half a decade ago at Olympic Village is the man who enters the fray 5 years on. Mark Ho-Cheng. NPL Victoria game 101, replacing Fletcher McFarlane. Ali, Gorman, Yokokawa, and another free kick for Heidelberg, who are maybe just starting to take a slightly more firm grip of this game as we enter the final 10. They do have the fresher legs. They've made a bevy of substitutions. Those substitutes, the left foot of Sean Ellis will be asked to conjure something up again. It's another player in Heidelberg yellow who hits the deck, and one who is not exactly unwilling to make his feelings known to the referee in Aiden Fedajic. It's been quite some time since Hume's last result against the Burgers at Olympic Village, but it's also been a decent stretch since any win against Alexander, May 15th, 2021. And the good thing for David Chick is the two men who have handed Hume their last two significant wins against Heidelberg are both on the field for them now, because it was Josh Bingham's solitary goal on that day in round 12 of 2021. One man who won't be scoring a potential winner is Mikael Platt. He's off the field of play for a man who already has form for scoring late goals against Heidelberg, Josh Gillespie, who popped up with a goal to make it 2-2 in minute 94 in the reverse fixture. So, former Kuma Tigers man on in the final 10. A game that could go anywhere, but is slowly becoming a bit more cagey as what's on offer if they win, but also what could be lost if they lose starts to become more real. One to chase for Jaden Gorman, the ex-Perth Glory youngster. What can he produce in Heidelberg colours? Well, not the worst entry into the penalty area, but no willing recipients there to thump it home. Sean Ellis to the turf. Gillespie neat for Bingham. Somehow managed to keep it under his spell, and Hume might be off and away on the far side through Abdallah. Great challenge though. That time from the substitute in Leo Marzis. His run continues. Leo Marzis, and the ball nearly breaking perfectly for Gorman, who is fully committed to win it back. Good work from the youngster. Gorman deflected and allowed to bounce in the middle. What's the decision here? Oh, it stayed in play. Well done, Michael Weir. And it's starting to become more end-to-end. They haven't got the numbers advantage, but they've got open space here. The visiting side! And Lloyd Isgrove nearly lit up Catalina Street with a scorching drive. It is getting really tense here at the Village. As they look to take a grip of this game, Heidelberg, that's the threat they have to guard against. The transitional power of Hume, who've scored the equal most goals of any side on the road this season. In fact, as a result of Amir Abdullah's, they have now scored more goals on the road than any other side. That would be the end of the 22-game unbeaten run at the Village for the Burgers, if Hume can snatch it. And it's a decently shaped ball. And it was a Heidelberg touch to divert it behind. Another corner from the far side this time. So over marches Isgrove. A cursory check around the grounds in NPL Victoria. Full time at South Melbourne. 4-0 winners against the Sharks of Port. 4 minutes left to play at Frank Holohan. 2-2 between 10 Men Dandenong and Manningham United. And locked at one apiece here for now at Olympic Village. Half away by Marzis, whose header was good to set himself into space. And then a good pass in turn into space for Gorman, who has made himself a tricky customer so far. Walks away from that incident without reward. They needed a 94th minute goal from Sabit Ngor to win it at CB Smith last Saturday. What can Heidelberg or Hume fashion this Friday? Idara, ever a cool customer, just stopped and propped. Assess the situation around him. Players just shouldn't have that much time at this level, but he makes it look easy. The ex-Mouscron man. Still absolutely mind-boggling to think at the back end of last season he was playing all the way down in the state leagues with Mill Park. Until George Katsakis brought him back to the top flight for the back end of season 2023. How about the chase from Josh O'Kane? Forlorn, but the kind of max effort that you love if you're a coach. Still only 20 years old, Josh O'Kane. Only made 3 NPL Victoria appearances going into this season. Tonight is his 22nd. Gorman has only made a handful, but he has been a handful so far. Here is O'Kane. Delicate from Isgrove. Really pretty stuff. Great interplay between he and Gulevsky. And now Ocheng on the march, clearing the ground for Amir Abdullah. In the final throws at Olympic Village. Abdullah marches onwards, cuts it back. Ocheng, a little touch en route, and a corner for Hume, who maybe, just maybe, are closing out regular time the stronger. And can you believe it? Over at Frank Holohan, Manningham are 3-2 up. The side that need to win to potentially save their skins in the top flight in the 86th minute through a penalty. Unreal. Knocked across and over at the front post by Adrian Zara. So take 2 for Amir Abdullah. Mark Ocheng and Lloyd Isgrove both on the edge of the box with a fair bit of space. Must be a bit of a trick play. No, it's swung towards the penalty spot and really well worked too. It's a big old scramble. And Heidelberg just about get clear their lines. And the likes of Maricic and Bingham were making their respective presences known. As the fourth official chucks 4 minutes extra onto this fixture. They both drop points this evening. Heidelberg and Hume could potentially be vulnerable to Oakley, who play against Melbourne Knights tomorrow. That is no sure thing, though. Lovely lead from Yokokawa. And now it's Marzis driven on goal. Towards goal. No Berger this time around can produce the late heroics. Grove with a cutter to the captain Bingham. It's not necessarily wide on the right where he wants to be in these situations, Josh Bingham. There's a real hush in the grandstand at the moment. This would be a sore one for the Burgers. And a sour taste of defeat for the first time at Olympic Village this year. Those Hume City Active supporters that you can hear. For our effects, Mike will be off chops. Either way, we're going to get some good noise if there is a late goal. And could it be Lloyd Isgrove, the main man again? And Hume will get a set piece. And that worked out pretty well for them on minute 55. Could it come up for them huge in the final 2 minutes of stoppage time? This one is admittedly a fair bit further away than where Amir Abdallah managed to strike his equaliser. But given his goal-scoring exploits this season, Amir Abdallah, you wouldn't put any distance past him at this point. Three in the wall for the Burgers. Sean Ellis, Aiden Federhajic and Ben Collins will look to do their job. It does look like Amir Abdallah will go direct. Amir Abdallah into the wall. And the Burgers bring their lines up quickly. Not much left in this game anymore. Isgrove was coming back from an offside position. They'll get a break, both of these sides. Chance to rest and recuperate on Doherty Cup weekend next week. For the Burgers, will have the not insignificant manner of the reigning A-League champions on their home deck. Zara had to get that one correct and did. And in comes Marzis to break things up. Idara. Well controlled by Gorman, but the flag is going to catch him out on the broadcast side. And so it is the Mariners up next at home before Manningham United and Dandenong City to end the season for the Burgers. And that ball won't find the feet of Sean Ellis. How they would love to have it at his feet now, the Scotsman. Instead, it's with the Welshman, Lloyd Isgrove, who sent Josh Golevsky a little wide, but able to keep it in stride. Isgrove darts the eyes up, and you can see what the idea was. You just wonder whether or not there will be a chance left in this one for either side. How much extra time will Michael Mamis allow? No more time. The spoil shared in a top four clash that did not let us down at Olympic Village. 2 goals, as good as you'll see, and in truth not very much to split the sides at the end of the 90. Heidelberg were looking good after 8 minutes. They led it through Sabit Ingor, whose red-hot form, both in scoring and setting up goals for the Burgers, continued from the edge of the box. And well, maybe, just maybe, they could have had a few chances to get the insurance policy of a second inside the first half. It was just the solitary goal separating the sides into the interval and out of the interval. Hume City were first out of the blocks. They really picked up their spirits, picked up their levels, and picked one out of the top drawer through the boot of Amir Abdallah. His 13th goal of the NPL Victoria season was one of his best. And it was one that was worthy of securing the visiting side a point tonight. Both sides had a few chances to win it outright thereafter. A game that ebbed and flowed, two sides who, in the end, even if they don't get 3 points to show for it, have shown their quality. And it is a matchup that you wouldn't complain about seeing potentially in the postseason. But for now, it's a chance to rest in Doherty Cup weekend for the Burgers and the boys from Broadmeadows. We bid you adieu from a good one here at Catalina Street. The full-time score from Olympic Village: Heidelberg United 1, Hume City 1.